Hi guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about Fantastic Four. Actually, the proper title of the film is The Fantastic Four First Steps. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it Fantastic Four. And as I said, I kind of took a break and I actually was able to just fit another review in between the riffraff in this one, but this was the film that I said I was gonna come back to. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to talk to you about Fantastic Four. Unlike Superman, I was pretty excited about this one. I had high hopes. I really liked the cast. I also really liked the cast of Superman, but these casts just more I just have a bigger attachment to it. Not only like Pedro Pascal, but obviously Joseph Quinn, who just became a really big fan because of Stranger Things. And yeah, I was super excited and interested in finding out what Marvel was going to do with, this is the first film of the new phase. And yeah, Marvel has been a little convoluted, and Thunderbolts ended up being really good and one of my favorites of the year. So I was curious to find out my thoughts on this one. So yeah, let's get to it. So just like Superman, I'm sorry I'm comparing the two, but two superhero films coming out back to back, they're bound to be compared. So I'm sorry, but just like Superman, this film takes place a few years after Fantastic Four are formed. So people already know the Fantastic Four. They have been saving the Earth. So it's not an origin story. It's an origin story of something else, I would say. I believe a lot of people already know this, and with this title, I should have guessed, but I actually didn't know. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what I was gonna get myself into, and the story surprised me slightly. So so the film takes place a few years after Fantastic Four are formed, and it's about some changes in their dynamic and a villain that wants something that they have. As I said, the cast is amazing in this film. It stars again Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, Vanessa Kirby, Iban. I'm not gonna mention his last name because I know I'm gonna butcher it. But yeah, he has a stellar cast, and one that I could see the potential, but just like a lot of people, I was afraid they couldn't pull it off. I don't know, I could see it, but at the same time, I was already kind of used to Chris Evans and Jessica Alba, and I don't know, I know those films aren't super successful and not a lot of people like them, but I like them. And I was curious to see what they were going to do with this one. So let's get to what I actually thought of the film. I don't wanna be that person again, but I'm gonna compare it to Superman, and I feel like these two films are super similar, not only in terms of how the story evolves, because both of them take place years after the heroes become heroes, so it's not origin stories, but also the vibe and just how simple the stories are. The story in this film is really basic. That's not something that really put me off, but it's something that played a part on my how I enjoyed the film. So I enjoyed the story, but I could see it was really simple. It's sort of predictable. So there's not a lot of surprising elements, nothing really really stood out. What stood out were the dynamics between the actors and the characters. Yeah, again, just like with Superman, these characters were like so good. The actors had a lot of chemistry, and I just really could believe they were a family. I liked everyone. Obviously, I might be a little biased, but I think Joseph Quinn stole all the scenes that he was in. I was kind of afraid he would be a bit like a side character. Obviously, he's the main character, but like not as important as Pedro Pascal, because he's definitely like the main character in the film. Him and Sue Storm, like Vanessa Kirby, they are definitely the protagonists here. But I really liked that the other characters like Johnny Storm and The Thing, they were really important in the story as well, and I really liked their dynamic with each other, and it was really lighthearted and nice. Unlike Thunderbolts, which was a film that was a lot more heavy and dealt with some important but heavy topics. This one, it touches on something that is important as well. This film focuses a lot on family, and it was nice. It has some really heartwarming moments, but it's definitely lighter, and I would actually say lighter than Superman. This film is a lot more enjoyable, and I know it's due to just me liking these characters and this world more, but I did enjoy this one more than Superman. But I know it's just because I'm more attached to these characters than I am with like the Superman world. Something else that I really enjoyed was the villain. The villain was different than what we usually get. Like his motives were like not super evil, so I could see where he was coming from, and like it just had to do what he had to do. So I liked the villain and his motive for just going after the Fantastic Four. It just wasn't one of those like I want to rule the world. It had a lot more to it, so I enjoyed that. Yeah, but everything else was really simple. Not bad, but just, yeah, there wasn't a lot of juice. And that goes for like the cinematography as well. It was nice to look at, but there weren't any like major moments that like stood out to me and that I just thought, yeah, this looked really beautiful. There's not a lot of action either. The action only comes in the last, like, I would say 20 minutes. I enjoyed it and I wasn't bored, but there's not a lot of action. And the score, that's something that I really enjoyed, because it just has like a really prominent and really distinctive score. The theme song is just iconic, and you will like, as soon as you hear that song, that score, that soundtrack, you just know it's the Fantastic Four. So I like that. And yeah, at the end of the day, I had a good time. I think it's a good film. I liked it more than Superman, but maybe just because I'm a little bit biased. But I would say they are basically at the same level as good entertaining films, good superhero movies that aren't too deep, but touch on some important things, but are like enjoyable as well, and have like a really like simple story. They don't overcomplicate anything. I'm curious to see where this is going. Like, this has 2 post-credit scenes, but only one that is like important. I'm curious to see where this is going. Obviously we know this is going to Avengers Doomsday, so I want to see what happens and how they are going to integrate this film and Thunderbolts and everything else. And I guess post that, let's get to my scores. So overall, I'm gonna give the film a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's fair. It's a solid film. It's a good one, but it didn't wow me as I wanted it to. Like, I wanted it to have something else, just something that really made it special. I think that's what happens in Thunderbolts. Like, at the end of the day, I think I prefer Thunderbolts just because it's more juicy, it has more to say, and I just think the characters, like the dynamic between them, is more real and raw. This felt too fantastical, but yeah, again, it's enjoyable. Cinematography, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. I didn't see anything super special about it. It's fine. And originality, I'm gonna give it a 3 because of the villain, which I don't know, I don't read the comics, so maybe that's what happens in the comics and I just don't know. But I felt like he was a different villain. Something that they introduce in the film is also different. It's not an origin story. So yeah, it has some interesting different elements, but it's basic and simple, as I said. So guys, these are my thoughts on the Fantastic Four first steps. I really want to know what you guys think of the film. So please tell me in the comments what you thought of the film. If you haven't seen it yet, tell me if you are excited about this one. I feel like this is one that everyone's excited about. If you have seen it already, please tell me, like, if you prefer this one or Thunderbolts. I think those are the two major Marvel films this year. Or tell me if you prefer Superman. Yeah, tell me which one you like more, this one or Superman. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!